Kerry Stanhope. I'm the Assistant Director for the Meadow Center for Health Resources at the UNT Student Health and Wellness Center. So we've had a couple incidences where we have had a student confirmed to have an infectious disease or something that could spread very quickly on campus. We've had incidents with tuberculosis, pertussis. Before I started, there was a pretty big meningitis scare at one point. So those are all situations that we've experienced here on campus the last few years. Well, I mean, we all carry our own germs and different things like that, and we're exchanging them every day. When we breathe stuff out, you're breathing out different things. You're breathing in different things that people have coughed out. You're touching surfaces that people have sneezed on or coughed on, things like that. So the number one way to prevent spreading infection or getting an infection is to make sure you're washing your hands appropriately with soap and water. You want to make sure that you're going between the webs of your fingers, going around your thumb, getting around the tips of your fingernails, trying to get all that cleaned, and then rinsing real well and then wet drying it off. If you can't wash your hands and you've touched a stairwell or you've been in an elevator or something like that where there's potential for exposure, there you can also use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that's recommended, and we offer some at the Student Health and Wellness Center, so if somebody doesn't have any, they can come get some from us. They get a little sample thing. The second thing to do is cover your coughs and your sneezes. Those are the most prominent areas a way for somebody who is sick to spread to other people. So if you just do the vampire cough, into the elbow, that's an area of your body that's going to kind of, so if you do have droplets or spit or something else or mucus or something comes out, it's an area of the body that's typically not going to be likely coming into contact with a lot of other people, as opposed to doing it on your hands, which you then touch on doorknobs or tables or chairs or everything else. And then another good thing is to avoid sharing drinks with people if you don't know if they're well or sick or anything like that. That is a way to spread disease and spread infection. So we do want to make sure that you're, drink your own bottle, drink your own items, and don't share those with a lot of other people. And then stay home if you're sick. Limiting your exposure to other people can reduce the likelihood of spreading whatever infection to other people. We recommend that they always communicate with the Student Health and Wellness Center. We are the on-campus doctor's office for them. Like I said, our providers are checking up on what's going on for infectious diseases and things like that, especially if it's something novel like the coronavirus that we've had, or when we had swine flu a few years ago. We're going to be trying to keep up to date on what's the latest things, what symptoms should we be looking out for, anything like that. Depending on the situation, so in some cases we may just tell students to just come on in. Like right now with the coronavirus, we're encouraging students to communicate with us by phone first to let us know what their symptoms are, how they potentially could have been exposed, kind of talking through what their travel history was, trying to look to make sure, because right now we don't know a lot about how that is spreading other than by person-to-person contacts. We want to try and limit somebody who may be infectious from coming in and exposing a whole waiting room full of people, for example. So we do encourage them to reach out to us or their own primary care provider. Typically, if it is something that's contagious, the primary care provider will let the student know, and then we encourage that student to let us know as well. If a student is in housing in one of the residence halls, we encourage them to also notify their hall director or the hall staff, so that they have precautions that they'll take into place, and then again we'll be evaluating who's likely to be exposed to it, how is it transmitted, what steps do we need to take to try and limit that transmission through the residence hall. If it's something that is extremely contagious that can go through anybody who's nearby them or something like that, we may even ask the student to be relocated back home or something like that to stay and recuperate until they're clear of that contagious time frame.